Good morning. Here you'll see Intuitive will show up in your account. So you come in here and it's supposed to work like a chat. It'll eventually do everything that the premise builder does, but it'll do it a little more friendlier. This has access to everything in Dramatica, but this is a little more friendlier. So without referring to the plot, what do you want to say with the story? Whatever it is that the meaning that you think is profound, go ahead and put that in there. So maybe this one will work after power. Oops, be too short. All right. Actually, it's pretty cool. So if we wanted to do the animal farm, absolute power corrupts absolutely. It reads this super quick too, and says that the two incompatible truths that you're talking about, the dramatic argument, will be between unending versus ending. So keeping things going or bringing it to an end. Control versus free. Actually, this is really cool. Ability versus desire, or process versus result. Actually, all of those are pretty awesome. I was just gonna screenshot this. Pretty cool. All right. Oh yeah, the classic greed leads to self-destruction. See if that does anything. Oh, perfect. I'm always amazed by my own app. Temptation versus conscience, or the alternative. Result versus process, consider. And then the other thing to know about this is the bold one's the most probable one out of this, and then down in percentage as you go left to right. So that's it. That's all this can do. And don't expect much more than this, because this is very much, I'm just getting it started. And then you have to manually take unending versus ending into the premise builder. We have these four families here of narrative elements that are setting the integrity of the narrative to make sure that it's connected. So if you just go to capable and you come down here, you'll see ending versus unending. And then you just need to decide, is the main character somebody who's for unending, like continuing the absolute power, or is it somebody who's about bringing it to an end? Or maybe it's the opposite. The main character wants to bring it to an end. Influence character wants continuation without cessation. If you haven't read the guide, I'll just show you this really quick. If you're not sure what ending would look like, anything that you do in here in the premise builder doesn't take away credits in the AI, so feel free to practice or experiment. Discontinuing the use of plastic bags would be beneficial. All right, this is an example of when somebody who's arguing for a position of ending, this would be an example of it. So getting rid of plastic bags. And then if you heart it, just drops it in there. And then for the unending, so the influence character, we want to see what that looked like. On the other side, the benefits of running something continuously are many. For one, it minimizes the amount of downtime. The modern world lowers downtime, increases people's personal happiness. In the long run, if you had to recycle all the time, it would cost downtime and disruptions. So that would be a way to do those two sides kind of going against each other. And then the argument of your story is which one wins, particularly if it's a changed story. So here you can see the dramatic stuff underneath here, where this is the male mental sex or the female mental sex. So basically, whether or not it's about a goal and problem solving, or about setting an intention and then balancing those two elements. The argument is either change or steadfast. And then the ending, especially for a male story, is either triumph, virtuous, bleak, or tragedy. And if you set female, the directions, sense of composure, sense of being present, sense of being stagnant, and sense of being disconnect. Those are the female mental sex equivalents of triumph to tragedy. And then here you can see the character arcs. So in this one, because it's a change story, the main character would go from, oh yes, we need to get rid of plastic bags, to, hey, everything just keeps going on the way it is. And then the influence character is pretty cool. It's coming from a place of tolerance, or, hey, it's good enough. It's good enough for now, so let's just keep doing it.
And that's how the story would prove absolute power corrupts absolutely, with unending winning over ending.
And then that would be basically it. You would set the main character's name, influence character's name. For now, I would just leave action decision to whatever genre it is. So if you're doing comedy, maybe you're doing coming of age comedy, something like that, which typically this is the setup where the main character is in universe and the objective story is in psychology. In fact, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Vengeance with BJ Novak. We did it in class yesterday in the cover. We basically predicted what the story form was, because it's really obvious from the trailer, and then wrote part of the second act. And so it'll be fun to see if that actually shows up for coming of age comedies, conventional or atypical. And this might not be entirely accurate, conventionally atypical. I'm going through the 550 story forms that are in here. I'm categorizing them. So an action thriller, conventionally, these are all driven by actions. Whereas something that's a little more balanced, coming of age drama, for the most part, is action driven. Well, this coming of age drama is coming of age comedy. Oh, see, look, this one will be a case where I need to flip that. These are all decision driven, so I would have to change that. And I will do that as soon as I hang up here. All right, so that should get you going. If you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon. Have a great Friday.